All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to more of your phone calls. Stacy Washington, host of Stacy on the Right Show, will join us and take your phone calls as well. And everybody gets to weigh in on the Gimme 5, which is coming right here.
I'm going to let him run his campaign however he chooses. I'm going to run my campaign, which is about a positive vision for our country with specific plans that I think will help us solve problems that we're facing.
Do you think that at some point you will have to respond to these accusations? You saw what happened during the primary when things that he said went unanswered. Why not sort of correct?
Oh, I'm answering him all the time.
But on this subject
I'm answering him on what I think voters care about.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Gimme 5 time, and we'll get to the reaction of Stacy and, of course, your reaction as well in a minute. But yesterday we talked about the women of The View missing the point entirely, probably on purpose, saying that this whole enabler issue of Hillary Clinton has to do with her husband having affairs, and she got mad at the women like any other woman would. That's not what it's about. You know it, I know it, they know it, we all know it, okay? Yesterday I mentioned in passing that Mika Brzezinski was near tears, in my view, defending Hillary. Well, here's what happened. I want you to watch. First, it's Mike Barnacle on Morning Joe.
I mean, what does it say about us, the media, that we're asking Hillary Clinton about literally something that occurred 25 years ago and has been resolved, at least legally, and I think resolved in I don't know anybody who's concerned that that's one of their top 5 issues, what Bill Clinton did 25 years ago. I really don't. Maybe I'm living in a different universe.
Yeah, I think you are living in a different universe, Mike. It's not what Bill Clinton did 25 years ago. It's what Hillary did to women. What Hillary did to women. Let's all say it, okay? That's what this is about. More.
She's banking on that. I mean, you can see she's kind of playing the four corners offense, which is you've got to lead, hold the ball, ignore the other guy. I think in the case of the Bill Clinton indiscretions and the affairs and all that kind of stuff, I think that's probably her best policy, is just to ignore it because in trust that the voters aren't interested in it.
Bill Clinton, his affairs, his indiscretions. Willie Geist is a smart guy. He knows full well it's not about affairs and indiscretions. And it's not about Bill Clinton. It's about Hillary and what she did to women. Are these people morons? I don't think so. More.
At least the history of this has been that people found Hillary Clinton a very sympathetic figure over President Clinton's indiscretions. You know, in the late 90s and early 2000s, people looked at her as having been a survivor and having been supportive of her husband, having come through with her own identity, and they made her senator from New York. It worked to her advantage politically then. Is there some weird jiu-jitsu by which it could be used against her now? I don't see it, but apparently Donald Trump does.
Again, John Heilman's in on it. It's Bill's indiscretions, and Hillary is such a sympathetic figure. Well, bring the women forward who say Hillary ruined my life after Bill attacked me. Not had an affair, attacked. These people are loony bins. And then there's Mika.
You can't even imagine what it would be like to be in a situation like that, but I just find that when something's really, really being thrown at you, the best thing is to be honest and vulnerable and real, and I think usually the person throwing the mud ends up looking really bad.
Yeah, the person throwing the mud. Throwing the mud. Bringing this up is throwing the mud. Yeah, poor Hillary. She's such a victim. Here's more from Mika.
I don't know if it's fair game. I think in some ways, I guess it is, but I think she has to sort of find her own voice with that. She really does, and I bet you if she gets everybody out of her own way and just kind of speaks from the heart, I bet you it would be incredibly moving, and I bet you we all would have nothing to say at all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Stacy Washington, host of Stacy on the Right Show. What do you think of all that, Stacy? The purposeful obfuscation of the whole issue into, you know, all about Bill cheating and Hillary reacting.
Look, there's new information out this week that Hillary Clinton, during that time when all of the bimbo eruptions were so plentiful and so numerous, that she hired a team of investigators, over 100 individuals, to step into these women and information on them, which was then used to blackmail them into submission, not to stop Bill from having indiscretions, and certainly not to build up a file so that she could divorce Bill. It was strictly to stop the women from talking and erupting in the media and preventing them from accomplishing their goals. So I think it would be very relevant. Contrary to what Mika said, she sounded really cute in that clip, and I'm sure she looked the same. But it's not about cute. It's about governing and the executive office. And we're talking about a couple that their marriage is a business arrangement, and obviously this is open season on this information, and her background is much more damaging than a couple of divorces on the Trump side.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to the phones, and we go to 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629, and first up we have Lauren from Boise, Idaho. Hello, Lauren.
Oh, hi, Steve. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, we've been trying to get you on for years, Lauren. We finally got you.
I watch you every day.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, I'm a Trump supporter, and back when Trump was first thinking about running or started to run, I was kind of undecided what to think about him. And then I saw an interview that he had with Oprah Winfrey when he was 27 years old. And he was saying then basically the same things that he's saying now.
Such as, Lauren, give me an example. Give me one thing that's the same from when he was 27 to now. First of all, I don't know that he was 27 on Oprah Winfrey, 37, 47, 57, 60, 40 years ago. Maybe. Go ahead. So what did he say then that he says now?
Well, about jobs and the economy.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
And
so you like his consistency?
Yeah, and I like the topics that he chose to run on, and I totally agree with him 100%. I think he's the best thing for the country right now.
All right. Well said, Lauren. Thank you very much, and appreciate the kind words. Let's go to Ann, Stacy. Ann from California. Hello, Ann.
Hi.
How are you?
Steve, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling. What can we do for you?
Well, I wanted to talk about Donald Trump releasing his tax returns. And it seems like nobody's making a point that there's a difference between individual tax returns and corporate tax returns. I am president CEO of a company, and your corporation has to be taxed first. Taxes are due March 15th, and then you can't even file your own individual tax return until your corporate taxes are finished. Now, I think Donald Trump is a sole proprietor of some of the part of the company, and then I'm not sure if he's a C Corp or an S Corp or an LLC on some of the other parts of the companies that he owns.
All right, so Stacy, Ann, we're getting a little bit in the weeds here. So you think he's within his rights in what he's doing, correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Stacy, yeah. I got to move along, but thank you very much for your expertise. Stacy, closing words. We got about 20 seconds.
I just think it's a non-issue with the taxes until the audits are finished. And I think Americans actually want to hear about policy positions and what he's going to do for them rather than what his taxes are doing.
All right. Stacy, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Folks, I want to remind you to keep it here as you do every night for J.D. Hayworth and Newsmax Prime. It's coming up next right here on Newsmax Television. But first, to America, he was the great communicator. But to Michael Reagan, he was Dad. Discover the strength, integrity, and faith of Ronald Reagan through the stories found in Michael Reagan's newest best-selling book, Lessons My Father Taught Me. Inside Michael's stories exhibit Ronald Reagan's true character, his private life, the way he really was with his family. Lessons My Father Taught Me shows how Ronald Reagan lived life the way we all aspire to live. And the lessons Michael learned from his dad are written to both inspire and entertain you. This compelling book belongs in the home of every conservative American, not only for its very personal look into the life of the nation's greatest conservative president, but for the lessons it shares that apply to everyday life. This book is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores everywhere. Get your copy today wherever books are sold.